What should you do in the case of a big earthquake? In today's video, I will explore a topic that's not only fascinating, but potentially life-saving. Earthquakes in Japan. Japan experiences more than 1,500 earthquakes each year. And though many are small, larger, more devastating quakes are part of the nation's history and future. I will delve into why Japan is so seismically active and what you need to do if you encounter an earthquake while traveling in this beautiful yet tremor-prone country. Japan is located at a unique and geologically active intersection of four tectonic plates: the Pacific Plate, Philippine Sea Plate, North American Plate, and Eurasian Plate. These plates are constantly moving, causing pressure to build up. When the pressure between these plates is released, the energy causes the ground to shake, resulting in an earthquake. Unlike many other regions of the world that may sit on a single plate or far from plate boundaries, Japan is caught right at the meeting point of multiple moving plates. This makes Japan highly vulnerable to seismic activity on a frequent basis. These interactions are called subduction zones, where one tectonic plate slides under another. Japan lies in the Pacific Ring of Fire, a horseshoe-shaped area in the Pacific Ocean that is famous for its intense seismic activity. The Pacific Ring of Fire encompasses about 75% of the world's active volcanoes and produces nearly 90% of the world's earthquakes. The immense geological pressure in this region generates volcanic eruptions, deep ocean trenches, and frequent earthquakes. Japan's position on the edge of the Pacific Ring of Fire subjects it to near-constant seismic shifts. Japan's most active fault lines include the Japan Trench, the Nankai Trough, and the Sagami Trough. These are all subduction zones, where one tectonic plate is forced under another, causing immense pressure and energy buildup. When this energy is released, the ground shifts, violently causing earthquakes. The intensity of an earthquake is measured on the Richter scale, and Japan experiences both minor quakes, often unnoticed by residents and tourists, and major quakes that can cause widespread destruction. On September 1, 1923, the Great Kanto earthquake struck the Kanto region, including Tokyo and Yokohama. With a magnitude of 7.9, it caused devastating fires that consumed many of the wooden structures common at the time. The earthquake and its aftermath claimed an estimated 100,000 to 142,000 lives. It reshaped Tokyo and remains a defining moment in Japan's seismic history. It also led to major reforms in disaster preparedness and infrastructure resilience. The Kobe earthquake, also known as the Great Hanshin earthquake, hit the southern part of Hyogo Prefecture on January 17, 1995. It had a magnitude of 6.9 but caused significant damage due to its proximity to a densely populated urban area. Over 6,000 people lost their lives, and around 250,000 buildings were damaged or destroyed. On March 11, 2011, Japan was hit by the most powerful earthquake in its recorded history, the Great East Japan Earthquake, which was followed by a devastating tsunami. The magnitude 9.0 quake shook the entire country and caused a massive tsunami that traveled at speeds up to 430 miles per hour. The tsunami wiped out entire coastal communities, led to over 15,000 deaths, and caused the catastrophic Fukushima Daiichi nuclear disaster. Japan is one of the most earthquake-prepared countries in the world. One of the reasons why so many lives are saved during earthquakes is the government's early warning system. Japan's earthquake early warning system provides seconds to even a minute of notice before shaking starts, depending on your distance from the epicenter. Alerts are broadcasted on TV, radio, and mobile devices, giving people valuable time to take cover. When traveling to Japan, it's a good idea to download apps that provide real-time alerts. Safety Tips is a multilingual app provided by the Japan Tourism Agency, offering updates on earthquakes, tsunamis, typhoons, and other emergencies. Another useful app is YUREKURU Call, which also delivers earthquake warnings. It's essential to know emergency contact numbers in Japan. Dial 119 for fire and ambulance services and 110 for the police. Additionally, you should register with your country's embassy so they can assist you in the event of an emergency. If phone lines are down, Wi-Fi and internet-based communication might still be available, so familiarize yourself with messaging apps like Line or WhatsApp. Whether you're staying in a hotel, hostel, or private accommodation, it's important to have a plan. When you check in, ask about the evacuation procedures. Many accommodations will have printed instructions or maps showing the nearest evacuation routes. Also, make sure you know where emergency supplies, such as fire extinguishers and first aid kits, are located. The golden rule during an earthquake is to drop, cover, and hold on. If you're indoors, drop down to your hands and knees to prevent being knocked over. Cover your head and neck by taking shelter under sturdy furniture, such as a table, and hold onto it to stay covered. Stay clear of windows, mirrors, and anything that could shatter or fall. Do not run outside until the shaking stops, as you might be injured by falling debris. If you're outdoors, move to an open space away from buildings, utility poles, and trees. Avoid bridges or overpasses, as they could collapse. If you're near the coast, evacuate to higher ground immediately after the shaking stops in case of a tsunami. In Japan, many coastal areas are vulnerable to tsunamis, especially after major earthquakes. The Japan Meteorological Agency issues tsunami warnings and alerts through TV, radio, and mobile devices. After a large earthquake, always check for a tsunami warning, especially if you're near the coast. If a tsunami warning is issued, evacuate to higher ground immediately. Tsunamis can arrive within minutes of an earthquake, so do not wait for additional instructions. Head to the nearest designated evacuation point, which is usually marked by signs in coastal areas. Tsunamis often come in multiple waves, and the first wave is not always the largest or most dangerous. It is essential to stay in the evacuation area until authorities announce it is safe to return. You may have to remain in higher areas for hours or even longer, depending on the severity of the situation. If you're traveling in Japan, consider assembling a small emergency kit to keep with you during your trip. This can be a lifesaver in the event of an earthquake or other natural disaster. Here are some key items to include in your kit. A flashlight with extra batteries. A whistle to signal for help if you're trapped. Basic first aid supplies. Bottled water and non-perishable snacks. A portable phone charger and extra battery. An emergency blanket or poncho. It's also helpful to carry a small notepad with emergency contact numbers and evacuation locations. Many hotels in Japan provide emergency instructions, so make sure to review them and add that information to your emergency kit. In case of a disaster, it's important to have all your essential travel documents readily available. This includes your passport, identification, insurance information, and contact details for your country's embassy in Japan. Make physical copies of these documents and store them in a waterproof bag in your emergency kit. Also, consider keeping digital copies on your phone or cloud storage in case you need to access them quickly. Japan is a beautiful country with a rich history, vibrant culture, and incredible landscapes. However, it's also a place where earthquakes are an inevitable part of life. By understanding why Japan is so seismically active and taking the time to prepare for the possibility of an earthquake, you can travel with greater confidence and peace of mind. Remember, earthquakes can't be predicted, but they don't have to catch you off guard. Make sure to stay informed, download emergency apps, and know what steps to take in case you find yourself in the middle of an earthquake. Being prepared could make all the difference. Thank you for watching, and I hope this guide has given you the tools and knowledge to stay safe while exploring Japan. Don't forget to thumbs up, share, and subscribe for more travel tips and safety advice. Stay safe and enjoy your travels.